Hey, welcome to another episode of 365 Thoughts on Confidence. Today is day number 110 and I am filming from my current bed, makeshift bed in the Netherlands. We arrived in Rotterdam this afternoon and now we are here at our Airbnb. And it's been an interesting day, but I'll tell you more about that shortly. Well, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Abigail and I'm a confidence crusader on a mission to help women elevate their confidence, and I do that through these daily videos, my specialist women's portrait photography and my online conscious confidence course. And at the moment I am on a trip in Europe. I've just come from the UK, having spent a week there. And so now we are in the Netherlands for the next week and a half. And looking forward to exploring this country. Have only ever visited Amsterdam before, so now we're in the south of Holland. And looking forward to seeing everything it has to offer. Completely curious. But right now let's look at today's thought of the day. Your future self has seen it all, done it all, and gotten all the t-shirts. So I feel like this one is particularly pertinent for me today. It was a long day yesterday, and we got to London quite late. Eventually found our hotel, and then went off exploring a little bit into the night. Got back to our hotel room and then I couldn't sleep. I just could not sleep. Don't know what it was. Couldn't sleep. So I'm pretty exhausted now. If I had the energy, I would take you around to see our Airbnb, which as far as Airbnbs go, it's pretty good. We've definitely had better, but I'm feeling a little bit unsettled. You know, sometimes you can do really well with Airbnbs, and then other times you're like, maybe not. Well, I'm kind of in the middle with this one. I'll give you a tour tomorrow. As an apartment, it's really nice on the interior. Location wise, it isn't fantastic. We are quite a bit away from the center of Rotterdam, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. And when we booked it, we didn't realize how far away it was. But there you go. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. And I think that's pertinent here today with today's thought on confidence, because so I'm feeling a bit unsettled, and I can see that it's going to take me a couple of days to kind of get okay with where we are and what we're doing and getting around. And initially, I found that my anxiety levels were quite high, and I felt uncertain and like, you know, when you've made a decision, you're like, shit, we made the wrong decision. I had that kind of feeling. And then I thought to myself, you know what, at the end of the day, this is temporary. We're not going to be spending all our time here, and we're only here for a very short time in the bigger scheme of things. So you know what, my future self is going to look back and laugh at the silliness of my current state of mind. I'm sure my exhaustion has something to do with my current state of mind, and I'm going to wake up tomorrow and feeling so much better. And so my future self, my like 12 hours from now future self, is going to look back and think, well, what were you carrying on about exactly? Like, why were you so out of, you know, why was your nose so out of joint? What the hell were you, like, even, what was the issue? And so while I was in that frame of mind, being like, oh, I don't like it, what are we doing? I think to myself, my future self is going to look back at this and laugh. And she's going to look back at this and say, you know what, this was all part of the journey. This was all part of the adventure. And this is all part of stepping out of your comfort zone and embracing things that are new and unfamiliar. it's all just part of this. It's all just part of the journey. And so when, like, I want to encourage you, because that's what I did this afternoon. Still feeling a little bit uncertain. I'm very tired. But the minute that I thought of that future version of me, and like visualize her as actually a separate person, like somebody else who has a better perspective because she's looking back on the events that transpire, looking back at the stories that she now tells, you know, all of that, that makes me feel like I can manage the current situation much better. Have you ever tried that before? So like really imagine your future self as a completely separate person, and how she would look back and say, you know what, you were being so silly, that was so funny, you're going to laugh about this. Because she's been there and she's seen that everything worked out in the end, and everything was just fine, and that it was all just part of the colorful story of this adventure. And so when I shifted that perspective and I changed my thinking in that regard, I felt the kind of anxiety make way for, you know, chilling and just accepting and becoming okay with where we are at the moment and what we're up to. I'm painting it like this is a terrible place. It's not terrible. Wasn't quite as clean as I would like it to be, which is a bit when it comes to Airbnbs. But yeah, like I said, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose one. I mean, no. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. So, other than that, and it's just not in the center of town. So we're quite a bit out of the city, and by quite a bit I mean like 2 kilometers. Not that. 2 kilometers. How far are we out? 4 kilometers. 4 kilometers. 4 kilometers out of the center of Rotterdam. So it's not really that far. We're not out in the sticks, but having done Airbnbs in international countries before, we know that being right in the center is what you want, so that there's easy walking access to all the awesome things that are to be enjoyed in an international city. And so now we have to get on a bus, or we have to take it's about a 40-minute walk if we were to walk it. So yeah, so it's really not as bad as I'm making it out to be. But man, am I tired. We came across on the Eurostar this morning, which was an adventure in itself. That was about 3 hours or so, and it was really cool. If you ever get the opportunity to do that, I definitely recommend it. I actually enjoyed it more than those short flights from the UK to mainland Europe. So if you ever get the opportunity, do the Eurostar. Lots of fun. Oh, and then we had issues with getting the bus tickets, and it was a whole big things upon things upon things that were needing to get done. I was getting stressed unnecessarily, and it was super hot today as well. It was like 27 degrees. It was so hot. We weren't prepared for that. And we had our huge luggage that we were walking around with. We couldn't check into the Airbnb until 5:30, and we arrived in Rotterdam at about 1 o'clock. No, probably even 12 o'clock. So yeah, lugging big suitcases around in a hot city, trying to figure out the bus system, all of that, you know, nerves fray, get irritated, get stressed, get anxious, all of those things. And then arrive at your Airbnb, which is way out of town. You just want to relax. Anyway, we have arrived. Looking forward to a good night's sleep and lots of adventures to come tomorrow. Have a think about your future self. Think of her as a completely different person, and how her perspective would be different, having gone through whatever it is that you're going through at the moment. She's seen it all, she's been there, she's got the t-shirt, she survived it, she's stronger for it, she loves that what you're going through has happened, and use that vision of her to help you get through whatever it is you're getting through now. Use that as fuel for your confidence right now. I hope that helps. If it did, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications button, and leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear how this thought on confidence has helped you today. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. a much more rested version of me. My future self, she's had a lot more sleep than my current self. Just saying. See you tomorrow.